was your experience like going from California's medical cannabis system to New York's medical cannabis system when you moved? What were the difference and what was that transition like?
Well, there's definitely pros and cons. In California, it was a free for all.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
was a dispensary on every corner, more dispensaries than Starbucks.
yeah.
You can imagine. So it was very difficult. I had a few of my favorite dispensaries, my preferred dispensaries, where the staff was, wonderful and they supported my patients throughout the process. But in the beginning, I would actually talk to these dispensaries and say, okay, my patient's going to come in, give you a heads up, without disclosing. I mean, I kept full,
Yeah.
HIPAA rules, but giving them a heads up that my patient's coming and this is what we would like to try or not try. And some of the really good dispensaries were very respectful of that and worked as a team. Some of them weren't and was just trying to push product and just move things off the shelf.
Yeah.
In New York, it's very different. In New York, every dispensary has a pharmacist.
Oh, interesting.
Every dispensary has a pharmacist, and everything you pick up is logged into the prescription monitoring program. And this is the same prescription monitoring program as if you saw your family practitioner and they prescribed medication for you, like Ambien or some pain meds. They would log it in. So when you go to CVS or Walgreens to pick it up, CVS and Walgreens log in and sees that you have cannabis as well, that you picked it up from the dispensary. So we're all looking at the same database.
Wow.
So that they know that you didn't pick up too much. And the pharmacists at the dispensaries here in New York will say, hey, wait a minute, you're on blood thinners, you're on, OxyContin, and then you just picked up cannabis.
Right.
There's some polypharmacy going on here. There might be some issues, and they'll pick up the phone and they'll call me. So there is some accountability and cross-reference. So it is a very robust medical system in that sense, but it's very cost prohibitive here in New York. It's about, I would say, 2 to 3 times the price as California, easily.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's such a shame when you have, some of these patients being children that are already on, sometimes really expensive medications, or like the elderly and the poor, that are already struggling to pay for healthcare, and then to have something like this that theoretically could be really cheap, but making that less accessible, that's disappointing. But it is exciting to hear about a medical system that where they're treating cannabis just like any other medicine or drug, and that there's that shared information, and that you can catch things like that, there's it's a more precautionary approach, I guess. And that's exciting to see. I'm not familiar with New York's cannabis laws in general. So what are the conditions that New York will approve somebody for medical cannabis?
Right. So there's epilepsy, there's PTSD, chronic pain, which is a big umbrella term, and that chronic pain could incorporate many different disease states: ALS, Parkinson's, irritable bowel disease, which is Crohn's, colitis, etc. Also substance abuse. Actually,
really?
They added substance abuse. So patients that are trying to wean off opiates are qualified as well. There's a good amount. Autism is not on there.
Really?
No. But patients with chronic pain, that could be migraine, that could be pelvic pain,
Right.
That could be, arthritis. And like, for example, the cost, going back to cost, I have a patient who is 7 and he has seizures. He had about 100 seizures easily a day. And he is controlled now with cannabis, the seizures. Maybe he has a handful a month now, but they spend about $3,000 a month. Yeah, they spend about $3,000 a month on the cannabis.
Wow, gee whiz.
Yep.